It was a chilly morning in Maple Ridge, Oregon, the kind of small town where everyone knew each other's dog's name. Claire Thompson stood at the edge of her porch, a steaming mug of coffee in hand and her heart a mess of thoughts. The early sun glinted off the frost-covered lawn, but inside her chest, a storm had long been brewing. 3 months ago, her husband Mark passed away in a tragic construction accident. One moment they were planning their summer trip to Yellowstone. The next, she was a widow with 2 children and a mortgage she wasn't sure she could pay. Claire, 34, had been a stay-at-home mom since Emily, their oldest, was born 9 years ago. Josh, their 7-year-old, was her shadow, full of questions about the world, and lately about death. The first days were a blur of casseroles, condolences, and hollow smiles. Then came the silence. No more texts from friends, no more phone calls checking in. Life had returned to normal for everyone, except her. Claire's bank account told a harsher story. She'd received some compensation from Mark's company, but it wouldn't last. She needed a job. She hadn't worked in a decade, and even then, her last position was as a junior graphic designer in a small agency. Outdated skills and a resume that stopped in 2014 didn't inspire confidence. But she couldn't let her fear define her. That morning, as the sun cracked through the trees, she made a decision. She would not just survive. She would rebuild. She pulled her laptop from under a stack of children's books and opened it, fingers trembling slightly as she searched. Remote graphic design jobs near me. After hours of scrolling and sipping reheated coffee, she stumbled on a listing for a part-time remote design assistant with a nonprofit based in Portland. The pay was modest, but it was something. She tailored her dusty resume, wrote a heartfelt cover letter, and hit send with a mix of dread and hope. Days passed. Nothing. Then a week later, her phone buzzed. "Hi, Claire. This is Angela from the Green Earth Initiative. Do you have time to talk about your application?" Claire's hand flew to her chest. She whispered a thank you under her breath before stepping outside to take the call. By the end of the week, she had a job, just 10 hours a week to start. But Angela, the hiring manager, assured her, "We care more about heart and creativity than perfection." That night, Claire tucked Emily and Josh into bed, whispering promises that things were getting better. Not in grand, sweeping ways, but in quiet, steady steps. She worked late into the nights, YouTube tutorials open in one tab and her design software in the other. Her first project was a flyer for a tree planting campaign, simple but meaningful. One day, Emily came home with a drawing. Stick figures under a big tree, a house behind them. "This is us," Emily said. "And that's you on your computer. You're helping save trees, right?" Claire smiled, hugging her daughter tightly. "That's right, honey, and helping us too." But rebuilding isn't always linear. 2 months into her new job, Josh got sick. It started as a fever and cough, but worsened overnight. Claire rushed him to the hospital, where he was diagnosed with pneumonia. The doctor assured her he'd be okay, but he needed to be admitted. Hospital bills, missed work, sleepless nights. One evening, as she sat beside Josh's hospital bed, her laptop balanced on her knees, Angela sent her a message. "Hey, just want you to know, no pressure. Take care of your son. Your job is safe." Claire stared at the message, tears streaming down her cheeks. For the first time in months, she felt something she hadn't felt since Mark died. Safe. Weeks passed. Josh recovered, and Claire returned to work. Her hours increased. She took on more projects. Emily started helping around the house. Even Josh, full of energy again, began making sandwiches for everyone on Saturdays, even if they were always peanut butter and a suspicious amount of jelly. One evening, Claire received a call from Angela again. "We're promoting you to lead designer," she said. "We've been so impressed by your dedication, Claire. You're not just working, you're inspiring all of us." Claire sank into her couch, eyes wide. "Thank you. I don't even know what to say." "You already said it," Angela replied. "Every day that you kept going." It's been a year since Mark's passing. The house still echoes with the silence he left behind. But it's also filled with laughter, burnt toast, and the occasional crayon mural Josh insists is modern art. Claire often thinks about the version of herself that stood on the porch that winter morning, scared, unsure, barely holding it together. She's still scared sometimes, but now she's stronger. In the end, life didn't break her. It tested her, and she passed. not with flying colors, but with something more enduring: courage, resilience, and love.